All right, I've hit record. That's some nice ASMR getting into the couch sounds. Like to take a minute as Cody thinks of his thing.
No,
We've started, by the way, Cody.
I've got it.
Just can I take a minute?
Yeah.
Just to our new theme song. There it is.
I love it. Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for people who like a little belly. I'm Cody,
I'm Tyler.
otherwise known as my old so-and-so.
I'm so glad you brought it up too. Okay, so Cody,
Yeah.
before we get into anything, this is a new. We're starting a new podcast here. We're still doing the old one where we're doing the full hour-long videos. What's different about this, Cody? I'm glad you asked me, Cody. It is a shorter podcast where Cody... What's a dilemma you face, Cody?
I see some ridiculous art films and indie movies that no one else sees, and I have no one to talk to about, and my head hurts.
Yeah. So Cody decided because there's another podcast that I'm subjecting Cody to awful things. So this is his retaliation that I offered to him to make up for the awful things. So I was forced to watch
Phantom Thread. You like how I said it?
Quite. I do like how you said it. I liked that a lot. So I liked your suggestion of how the format will go. Of you get, what do we want to do, 5 minutes?
Sure.
Of a completely uninterrupted rant about this movie.
Yeah, okay.
And then I get a rant, and then we discuss.
All right. If I can just rant briefly. So this is a movie about a man who makes clothes, and
Let
it's
me
in
interrupt
London.
you for 1 second here.
You monster.
Are you going to explain the movie and then do your rant? Or
And that was as much as I was going to say about it.
Okay. I'll get this timer going here for you.
All right.
Can I get a minute from you?
All right.
Okay, ready and go.
Daniel Day-Lewis plays the most particular clothesman in the world, and he meets a waitress, and he's like, boy, gotta seduce her again. He brings her. She's obnoxious. He gets mad at her. She butters toast really loudly. This movie is so beautiful, and the clothes are so amazing, and it's so slow, and it hurts to watch, but it's good, but it hurts to watch. And I saw this on a Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, and it was a mistake. It was 10:30, and I was leaving the theater. I was like, why did I do this to myself? And you don't know what it's about. And this is like the third P.T. Anderson movie I've seen. That's the director. And you don't know what the movie's about. And it goes on, and it keeps happening. And you're like, well, there are good things about this, but what are we doing here? What is this? What is happening? And this movie is one of those. And they go back, and they go forth, and they go back, and they go forth. She poisons him. They get married, she poisons him again, and everyone's okay with it. What is this movie? Oh, should I do some more? He eats the most amazing breakfast I've ever heard of. He sits there, he orders the breakfast. Oh my goodness. You ready? Welsh rabbit. I had to look that one up with the poached egg on top. Sounds amazing. Scones, which I think are just scones. Sausages, butter, cream, and jam. Not strawberry. That sounds amazing. I want to start every single day with that breakfast. You don't even know what Welsh rabbit is, do you? Fine, I'll tell you. It's a toast with a savory cheese sauce on top. Imagine that with a poached egg, some sausage, some scones. Beautiful. Wonderful. But he's so slim. His figure's so slim. How does he do it? Nobody knows. There's no payoff in this movie. This is what bothers me. This movie starts, there's no payoff. He talks about how you can sew anything to the line of a clothes, and she's like, why aren't you married? And when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's a gay movie because he's like a fashion designer and it's the 50s in London, so he's obviously a closeted fashion. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. He's straight. They make a baby. They get married. I don't understand. Also, because he's like, I'm a confirmed bachelor. They never explain why, and it's just because he's particular, I guess? Or he's in love with his sister. I don't know. Nobody knows. Here's the other thing. Paul Thomas Anderson, filmmakers, they love him. Oh, they love him to death. They love all of it. They love The Boogie Nights. They love Punch Drunk Love. They love There Will Be Blood. They love The Master. And no one knows why. We don't know why. But here's the thing. Paul Thomas Anderson, if I had to ask you where he was from, you know what you would say? Somewhere. I don't know what you would say, but you'd be wrong because he's from Los Angeles. And I don't understand how that works. The most interesting thing by far about Paul Thomas Anderson, the director, I don't know if I mentioned that 4 times already. He's married. He's not married. His partner is Maya Rudolph. Saturday Night Live alumna Maya Rudolph, star of so many wonderful comedy films. How? This man, the man who made this movie, is married to a comedy star? How does that work? Kaylin, how does it work? Magic. That's the other thing about this movie. There's a supernatural element. His mom appears in his bedroom. What's that about? There's so much that I like about this movie, and I hate this movie at the same time. It hurts me. Tyler. That's it. That's all I have to say. This is his second movie he's made, or maybe his third movie that's loosely based. Like, he takes a person from history, and then he says, you know what, I'm just going to make a character loosely based on that, and then we're going to do a movie that way. He did it with The Master, based on L. Ron Hubbard, but he's like, no, it isn't. But then in other interviews, he's like, it totally is. And he did the same thing with this, with some 50s fashion designer. You know, in the beginning of the movie, Alma, she knocks on his door and is like, I want to come see you. And he's like, I'm working. Leave me alone. But then his sister just walks, his old so-and-so. That's his sister, by the way. It took me a while to figure that one out. And then she just walks into the room. But then later, after Alma poisons him, Reynolds Woodcock, by the way, which was a joke name, and then they kept it because it made them laugh so hard. This movie isn't funny. So then when Alma poisons him the first time, she just starts walking in and out of the room, willy-nilly, as she pleases. I noticed that this time. I like this movie more the second time, but also I was so exhausted by the end, and I think that's the problem with it. We don't know what it's about. It makes us sad. Your turn?
Oh, it's still going. No, the timer. Yeah.
You want to go? You want to take a turn?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you pull up a timer for me? I got to pull up my notes. I did not interrupt you the entire time.
I'm really impressed.
You really wanted me to interrupt you a few times, I thought.
I mean, I didn't realize how long 5 minutes were.
It feels like a long time.
I did a
you
great
said
job.
You were like, "I'll do you to me." Quote Cody.
Nope.
Quote.
Nope.
I'll do 5 minutes. You do 10 minutes, and I thought, 10 minutes. Like, I understand I can go on for longer than you. It's a long time to rant. Anyway, so.
All right, your 5 minutes has started.
It started?
Mm-hmm.
How dare you? I let you explain the movie and then start your rant. I'll go do my own timer. I'm doing my own timer. Look at this. You're trying to cut into my time. Look at this. Watch this. Watch me. Watch it. See that? Tick, 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 tick. Start. Okay. He calls her his old so-and-so. We both are bothered by this. What the F? Okay. Second, he kept the ticket. Why? Why did he keep the ticket? I don't know why he kept the ticket. It was dumb. It was dumb that he kept the ticket. He's like, here's a bunch of over-the-top weird stuff. I'm going to order it. You gonna remember that? She said yes. He's like, give me the ticket. Kept it. Weird guy. Okay? He's like an adorable, awful serial killer. That's what he is. He's an old man. He's so cute, but he will skin you and make you into a suit, okay? He reminds me of, was it Shakur, whatever. The bad guy from No Country for Old Men is, what's his face? Javier Bardem. I don't remember his name ever. I always remember his name. He's so beautiful. Anyway, he's like him. He doesn't look like him. He reminds me of him in that I believe he would kill me at the drop of a hat. There are nipples in this movie, Cody, and they are hard for a very long time. And they kept going back to him. During the beginning, they're giving me a skeptical look. It's during the beginning. So he's dressing her. She got very see-through clothes. And they are very, like, erect. Anyway, that's not important. The sister came in. She's like, oh, so your house smells good. And then she gets, like, make-out distance from her and sniffs her real good, real hard. Her nipples got harder after that. And I was like, is this woman into this? And she's having a hard time. Here's what's happening. Okay, what is happening? Quotes. This means I took a note saying what is happening. I counted the amount of notes. 5 times I wrote down that note. 5 separate times throughout the movie. Because the times I wrote it and then wrote it again, didn't count that. Then I wrote, so is she his sister or what? And then I answered my own question with yes. As you said, both confused on the sister part. Then there's a part where they make a joke. Or not a joke. It's the guy. What's his face? Woodcock. He says something to Alma. And they're like, oh, we're going to go do a thing. And I want this thing. And then I'm like, and then I just wrote ... Sat there for 5 minutes. Then they went into the bedroom and I said, oh, I get it. Sex. They wanted the amount of oh my gosh, this bee faces, you know? It was aggressive in this movie. So many. A lot. This is when it hit me. This is a crappy Titanic remake. That's all this is. She's in a fire. She's telling a story to some guy who doesn't care. Who's giving her horrified looks about how this was such a beautiful experience when really she's just trying to kill a guy. Same movie as Titanic. Okay? Here's a question for you, Cody. Why are there random synth sounds in one of the songs, in one of the parts? It's just like beep, boop, bop, beep, beep, in like an orchestral piece. And I'm like, not cool. It's weird. I don't like it. Do not put synth sounds in Phantom Thread. Don't do it. Okay. I gotta catch my breath for a sec. When they're interviewing the chick who falls over, she's either dying, she's drunk, or she does drugs. It's very unclear on what she is doing. It's something to do with her lifestyle, or she's just that way. I can't tell. Somebody asks her or her fake husband about selling visas to Jews during World War II. And then right before the scene cuts, someone says, I swear, they say, Jews don't exist. And then it cuts the scene. And I thought, you can't end the scene with that. You can't. But they did. And they got nominated for an Academy Award. I wrote down, I have no idea what I wrote this down about. I am so, and then like a million dots as I tried to think of something. And then I just wrote something. That's what I wrote. I wrote the word something. Mm-hmm. He wore a suit over his pajamas, but as part of the pajamas. Mm-hmm. He had a 3-piece suit on, pajamas underneath, like a petticoat or whatever it's called, like a little vest, and then a jacket over it, and a bow tie. But he was in pajamas. He's in pajamas, Cody. And then she poisoned him, which I was very unclear on. I was like, she definitely poisoned him. Did she poison him? Does he just sick? She definitely poisoned him. Is she going to murder him? No. The answer is no. Oh, yeah. He says they should be spanked in public. I don't remember what he said about it. He uses that as a punishment, spanked in public. This is what I said. 2 things. Real quick. I said, when she got the mushrooms, I said, kill him, kill yourself, kill the others. And then, that is a trident, not a fork. This movie was so good.
You made it. I'm proud of you. You liked it?
No.
Oh. You liked it more than the trailer, though. You did tell me that.
I did. I liked it a lot more than the trailer. I like it as much as I like Titanic.
I haven't seen Titanic.
It's about on this level, but less boring.
Can I say something? That something is a question.
Yeah.
How do you like your asparagus cooked?
I like it. Wrapped in a sheep's bladder.
You're incorrect.
And stuffed underneath the coals of an acacia tree.
It's very good. Not as good as olive oil with salt, though.
Mm. What's with weird people and olive oil?
I don't know, man, but he doesn't like too much butter. He's so particular. He's like me if I had money.
Yeah. Exactly.
We talk about his hair. Daniel Day-Lewis's best hair to date in the movie.
It's like it's the swooped back old guy hair where he's got the they're widow's fists. Really, is what they are.
Doesn't come into a peak, but they're giant fists.
I could
on
see
either
like
side.
if you grew your hair out long enough, you could do it. I think, but it's like not as it's not pronounced enough. Like you don't have the scoop out of your hair. You just have like bald.
This will never be as good as Daniel Day-Lewis.
It says he's retired. Can you? I mean,
This is allegedly his last film.
wasn't his last movie allegedly his last film?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Supposed to be done. I know why he kept the ticket.
Why?
It was a test.
A test?
A flirty little test.
I was convinced he was going to kill her. That
would have been a much better movie. I feel like it would have been a more effective payoff because, like I said, there's not much of a payoff. And even because the first time I watched this movie, what bugged me so much is I didn't understand the point of it. And as I was watching this movie for the second time today, I was like, you know what? I figured it out. The point is,
there's no point.
He works too hard, and she forces him to be ill, so he gets to rest, but she also gets time to go, wait, nope, that doesn't mean anything. That's nothing. That does nothing for me.
That's exactly what it is, though, is that he's like, goes crazy. He recognizes he gets crazy, but he's only recognizes he's getting crazy in the small moments where he's sweet. But he's sweet when he's sick. So she poisons him and almost kills him to the point where he says, call the doctor. And she says, don't you trust me? And he says, I trust you, but you might have killed me.
I will say I identify somewhat with Alma.
That's a Mexican name.
So what's interesting is the actress is from Luxembourg.
It
is a Spanish or Portuguese name, but that was a very popular name in Luxembourg in that period, which is one of the reasons why they kept it in the script. Isn't that fun? So,
so fun. So
I
fun.
forget what I was saying. You know what's weird though is I really appreciated their chemistry in that like final scene of like you see him recognize that she is poisoning him.
Yeah.
And then she's teasing him by making all the annoying loud sounds that he hates, like pouring the water from 3 feet above the glass.
Did you notice her fist hits the light and pushes
I
the
didn't
light
even
up?
notice that.
Yeah, she goes all the way
I was
up,
watching the
hits
stream.
light.
I was like, oh, look at that stream. It's real thin.
No, she hits that light.
And anyway, I kind of appreciated their little banter when she's like, don't you trust me? As she just poisoned him and he's like sitting next to the toilet. I don't know. It was weird. Like, I find this movie oddly charming at times and at other times infuriating.
Here's the thing. You know how I always say, I think what you're experiencing is what I experience a lot of movies, where you recognize a masterpiece of a movie that has nothing to it. It's like they did everything right, but there's nothing there.
It's like, here's what I think it is.
It's like just a couple months in a dude's life.
The Master is the exact same way, where I'm like, everything about the directing of this is perfect, and everything about the acting of this is perfect, and the way this is shot, it's perfect. Just Paul Thomas Anderson needs someone else to write his scripts.
Yeah.
Because I think I've seen 3 or 4 of his movies at this point, and there's one that I was like, this was a good script. And it was also a much shorter movie. It was a 90-minute movie, whereas his other movies are like over 2 hours.
Which
and
I
about
think
seemingly nothing.
These movies show that you could take a crappy script and make a fantastic movie. Because this is not a great script. Like, it could have been a more interesting story if they hadn't waited like 2 minutes between each conversation and made you question whether or not his sister was his lover.
It's like, even if Paul Thomas Anderson wants to make these stories, he just needs a screenwriter
to cut out all this fat.
Cut out the fat and like just make it a little more clear and like wrap it up with a bow at the end, because instead it's just like this mess of like, I threw 12 ideas at you, 4 of them are relevant, but I don't really know how to like finish it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you
use
the word chic, You need to be spanked in public.
That's what he said.
You need to be drawn and quartered. That's what he said.
If you came up with the word chic,
Yeah.
then you deserve to be spanked in public. That's what he said it about.
Chic.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
I know you are.
I definitely Here's the thing that always kills me though. It's like it won for costume design, right?
Won for costume, nominated for 5 things, including director, picture, best actor, best supporting actress.
So I think actor, definitely. The costume design, I'm always like, I always want to go to him and be like, really? Like, really? You know, because you may not like them, but we'll take like a movie like Warcraft, for example. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not good. I like it. I bought it. I watched it several times. I like it a lot.
Are you about to talk about the costumes of Warcraft?
It's just like the effort that goes into the costume of that is more than went into this movie.
How dare you?
It's absolutely more effort.
You are wrong. You see all the dresses they created for this movie?
They could go to JCPenney and buy those dresses.
Dresses like that?
Yes.
No. In 50s style?
Yes.
No.
Here's what you could do. You can go and be like, hey, dressmaker, who's like super famous and super expensive, but is really, really cheap compared to a costume department, make us 20 dresses versus make people look normal in anything. Like dress a ton of people up. They made dresses and everybody else was just wore normal clothes. They got pulled out of a prop department.
I'm so mad.
They were consistent. Right, the dresses weren't anything special.
You were so wrong.
They weren't anything special.
This movie has better costumes than Warcraft.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
Quítate.
You didn't even see Warcraft.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I saw the trailer.
No,
saw the
you
costumes.
didn't. Don't lie to me.
I saw the trailer of Warcraft. How would I not have seen that? Like, what? It's a trailer.
Fine. You don't have to lie to me. It's better. Something like all of the Marvel movies. Yes. Especially like Iron Man 1, anything where they have like half of Iron Man's suit is practical in every movie.
Not in the latest one.
It is. You see back behind the scenes, he's wearing half of an Iron Man suit.
I saw a green screen shot just today, and he had like a strip, and then the helmet. That was it.
The only guy who wears the full stuff was weirdly Spider-Man. All the other scenes, he's got all the stuff on his arms and his upper body and half of a helmet. And sometimes he has stuff down his legs. In the early movies, he would have a full suit for a lot of them.
Yeah. This movie has good costumes.
I'm saying it good. I'm just saying it's like you can like go to people who still have those clothes or to make those clothes. You can't go and buy stuff for any, like all these movies that people are like, that movie sucked. And it's like, but their costume department worked probably a lot more hours and a lot harder than a dude who designed a couple dresses.
So mad at you. Did you know, of course you knew this, but Daniel Day-Lewis apprenticed under an actual dressmaker.
Yeah, because he's insane.
And they, like, if you're in a Daniel Day-Lewis movie, while he's on set, he's doing method acting, so you have to call him by the name of his character. So the actress who plays his love interest, Alma. The actress who plays Alma didn't actually meet him until the first day of shooting, and so she only ever called him Reynolds.
Here's the thing.
Which I love that name, by the way.
The method actors, Cody.
They're insane.
It's just an excuse to be a dick. That's all it is. Because who has ever method acted being like a good person?
There's one person.
Nobody.
Is he? Right.
Who?
I forget. There was someone recently.
Because you get like Christian Bale and stuff who like will scream at people on set. And he's like, I was method acting. I was in character. And it's like, no, you're a bad person. And that's your excuse so you don't get sued by the union.
Right.
Like that's I don't like method actors.
I'm going to do some method acting on method acting. We'll see how it goes.
They're so...
Let's do some method podcasting.
Like, here's the thing. Here's a perfect example of this. Do you remember that documentary with Jim Carrey where he played what's his face?
Andy.
Andy?
What's his name?
Yeah. And so the guy that was like Andy's partner on his show and stuff, and he always would pretend to be mean to. So during the filming of the documentary, he would be mean to him and say, "I'm just trying to channel Andy." And the guy's like, "I was friends. He was my best friend. We pretended to hate each other.
Yeah.
We loved each other.
Sort of like how
I'm like the godfather of his children and stuff like, you know."
Sort of like when we're not recording, we're lovers, you and I.
Exactly.
Well, it's so and so.
It's such a confusing term to use for your sister.
Well, I love that scene when Alma's getting her first dress made, and like just like you said, that lady just walks in, starts smelling her, and is like,
she sniffs her.
And like Daniel Day-Lewis's character never mentions a word. He's like, "Oh, by the way, this is my sister, and this is totally normal that she's in this room." She's just like, what's this lady doing?
I thought Alma hated, or not Alma. I thought Cyril hated Alma the entire movie.
Yeah, she did.
Until the end when she's like, "No, I like her." And I was like, "Do you just..."
No, she didn't mean that. She didn't mean that because she said that before. Like when
she was so happy at their wedding.
When the first girl is there, and she's like, she's a lovely girl, but she totally sucks and she needs to leave.
Yeah.
It's just her.
But see,
she's always diplomatic and British about everything.
But they did the same thing. Like they reached a similar point where like Alma was just waiting around for Reynolds to fall in love with her again, and exactly. She was like, "Don't keep her running like you have with all the other girls." Like I
disagree.
Like this one.
I disagree. I think she clearly she disagreed with Alma the entire movie.
Well, see, that's what I think is like she saw more of herself in that. Like she was like, "Well, I was just like." She, Cyril would be like, "Well, he won't like that," and she's like, "Screw him! I'm going to do it anyway." And I think Cyril was kind of like, I mean, that's what I would do, but so I think she liked her. I think
Cyril tried to sabotage that relationship. I just think it was a fluke that it worked out.
I think, yeah, I that's the thing. I was like, did she sabotage it? But what did she ever do to sabotage it?
She let Alma act in a way that she knew Reynolds wouldn't like.
After trying, I mean, like, what else was she gonna do? Tackle her to the ground and tell her, "Nope."
I'm just saying. There's the time where like she's like, "I want you to leave the house so I can have a night alone with Reynolds," and she's like, "All right," and then she does leave.
Well, yeah, she was like, "No," she was like, "I don't think you should do that," and she's like, "But I want to do it." She's like, "I don't. He doesn't like surprises." "Yeah, he does." "No, he doesn't. Not like this." "I want to do this." "No, you shouldn't do this." "But I would like to do this." It got to the point where I was like, "Oh my gosh, just don't do it."
The scene is over.
Don't do it or do it. Like, make a decision.
Yeah.
It went on for a long time. But,
sure did.
Yeah, so that's the problem. We've reached the problem with the movie of, did he love his sister? Did she sabotage the relationship?
Yes.
Was there a baby in that pram? Like I called it a pram, because that's what it is. It's not a stroller because it's in Europe land. Vague.
London.
Were they in London? Because half the people were French.
I believe most of the movies in London, like the big house, is London.
Okay,
because it's fashion.
Are they in London or are they supposed to be?
They talk
in,
about
Luxembourg?
The country too. It's like, I'll go to the
country. Do they ever say the city name?
They don't. It's one of those things where it's like, well, this is based on fashion designers in London in the 50s.
That's probably what it is. I didn't know. That was vague. It's like, people French. She was French, but she's actually from Luxembourg, but she spoke with an accent and then switched accents and then like was trying to do a different accent, then got different. Anyway, it was very good. I give it a 9 out of 10.
I would say be careful. If you're going to watch this movie, you be careful, you be wary. But I mean, there are some wonderful things about it.
Yeah. I would, don't buy it in 4K like I had to watch it. Maybe see it for free.
But the detail on the lace in 4K.
It's very difficult to get that lace, Cody.
Yes.
They had to murder a grandma.
Rescued that lace.
He
murdered from the corpse of a dying woman.
Murdered somebody for that. Oh, Cody, we've nailed it. We said 30 minutes. That's the new thing.
Well, I got nothing else to say.
We're here. We're coming up on it, Cody. What? Tell me. What else you got? Tell me.
That's it.
Tell me. It's the thing.
If you know where I can get Welsh Rabbit, tell me.
Tell me. Tim. Cody needs it. Thanks for listening.
Until next time.